I did not refresh my live stream destinations. I'm hoping they just work. They worked for my Below the Surface podcast.
Oh, they should.
Oh, here's Adrian.
Hi, Adrian.
What's up, bro?
Hey, how's it
Good to
going?
see you.
It's
Long
going good.
time.
Not too long. I was-
Oh,
I
for
forget the
me.
last time we talked, but I feel like it's not too long ago.
No, no, no. It's
Yeah,
just
well,
nice to see you. It's been longer than we
we
normally
haven't
do.
done a bunch of these because last week it was a soccer tournament I had to take my son to,
Yeah.
which I was able to actually work, but I wasn't sure. But it turns out there was an indoor facility that had Wi-Fi, so I got day job work done. Because some of the stuff,
Yeah.
you can't even attend. It wasn't a tournament; it was like tryouts for the ODP program. And so the like practices, they're like, we don't want parents watching. I'm like, that's fine. I don't need to watch him practice soccer. In fact, his coach is like, don't come to practice, and has been that way for a long time. And then before that, it was the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I don't remember. One of them, I went on a camping trip and had to take Friday off. So
Yeah.
Fridays in the summer are hard.
Yeah, they are. But, doing stuff with the family counts double. Extra
Yeah,
points.
we were supposed to have a boat this afternoon, which is why I moved this up. But the seas look like they're going to be 2 to 3 feet. There's no small craft advisory, but
That
seas at
could
two
be
to three
interesting.
feet, even in the bay, I mean, you can do it, but you got to have the right boat, and it's a little frightening. Last time I accidentally caught air in the boat. Because I'm still new to boating on the ocean, so like when there's waves, you can't go too slow, otherwise the water comes over the side. But if you go too fast, like it's too rough. So you got to find the right speed to kind of cut through based on the seas, which change. Like as you leave the little cove that we're in, right? They get a lot rougher. So yeah,
Yeah,
learning.
my girlfriend's real into sailing, and she's actually going to be next week. She's going to be in Grenada,
Mm,
getting certified so she can charter and captain boats.
that's awesome. It's
That's
a skill for
that's
sure.
wonderful.
Hey, everyone, welcome to the Hacker Syndicate beta live stream show. I'm Paul Asadoorian. I'm here with Mr. Lee Neely. Lee, welcome.
Hey, it's good to be here. Happy Friday, everybody. Glad to have people joining us.
Yeah, Mr. Adrian Sanabria is here with us.
Hey,
Adrian,
everybody.
welcome.
Thank you.
What's going on, man? It's been a hot minute, Adrian. I see Lee almost every week.
Yeah,
We don't other than this show, we don't do a podcast together anymore, which we used to do a lot of podcasts together.
yeah. There's I mean, once you're yeah, there's a lot going on. I do several podcasts now,
Yeah.
and
Well,
Good
so
for
you
you.
do Enterprise Security Weekly,
yep.
and then you do your day job podcast, right?
I do Alice in Supply Chains. Well, this is all my day job now.
Yeah, right. Because
Like,
this you don't work a real job, not a
I
real
don't work
job,
for
but
nobody. I got
A
no boss.
traditional job.
so you're an independent contractor
Yeah,
doing ESW, and then what's Alice in Supply Chains, which is a hilarious name for a podcast, by the way.
it is. It is. So Tenchi Security asked me to
And you
put
used
together
to
a
work there.
podcast.
You used to work there
Yeah,
full time. Okay,
yeah. I
so
was
now
head
you
of product there.
so now you're just producing their podcast for them.
Yeah. I actually I went and worked for another startup for a while, a SaaS security startup, SaaS security posture management, and then after that went independent. And yeah, I've just been doing, since I can work with everybody now.
Yeah.
A lot of people reach out and they're like, it's interesting. I've gotten people reaching out for product testing because
Oh.
I did
Yeah,
do
because of the
product
what
testing
we
for a
did
while.
right.
Always falls through. I think part of it is I
Interesting.
don't really want to do it because I'm gonna have to build a bunch of stuff in my lab,
Right.
and it's probably not, so I throw out a big number and then
Yes.
just don't hear back from them.
Right, right. I get that too with independent stuff because I time is precious, so I throw out a big number and then
Yeah.
actually sometimes I'm like, this is the minimum amount like I would actually do it for, like this is it, and then crickets, and I'm like, well, you didn't have the budget, right?
Yeah. A lot of what I do is smaller stuff, which I actually kind of like. I like not, I've got a bunch of friends who do these like fractional virtual
Yes.
CISO, this and that, and they're constantly complaining about it.
Yeah.
Whereas most of my stuff, like if I took the average of my the items that I invoiced for in 2024, I think the average came out to like about $1,000.
Yeah, so
You know, so
small projects.
I'm doing advisory calls through IONS.
Yep.
You know, I do in-person events, virtual stuff for them. I'm going to start doing training for them. And then on the CRA side, I do the podcast. I do a bajillion webinars. I don't know how
Nice.
many webinars I've done so far, but I'm doing 4 next week.
Wow.
And
They throw me a couple. It fits and starts with webinars. Sometimes I'll get 4, sometimes I'll get 1.
I went through a period of doing those. They're actually kind of fun, but they are
Yeah,
a bit.
they're great. I
Well,
learned
not sounding like it was negative. No, you just have to.
Yeah,
be
I learned a lot
ready.
from them because oftentimes they're topics that I don't often
Yeah.
discuss on the show. So I'm like, yeah,
Right.
it's great insights. The one we did with, well, they're a sponsor now, Flashpoint, was really good on info stealers. I learned a lot, and he's coming back on the Paul Security Weekly show talking
Yeah.
about ransomware, kind of give us an update on ransomware, which is interesting. So
info stealers are huge. Yeah, next
Huge
week I'm
now.
doing one with Oasis on non-human identities. Doing one with Palo Alto on how AI is affecting the speed, scale, and sophistication of the threat landscape. Then one with Semperis on best practices for securing identity systems. And then one with Fortinet on Thursday, the invisible layer, why AI is in all of this stuff.
yeah.
I'm getting kind
Oh.
of tired talking about AI. Like yeah, it's
Well,
gonna
I'm not
change
surprised
all the,
that I'm not surprised that Palo Alto and Fortinet don't want to do a webinar with me.
So
I think I pick on
actually,
them. And I say I'm not trying to pick on them, but I'm like, you have vulnerabilities. But you know, we did some disclosures with Palo Alto that in their UEFI subsystem that they weren't particularly happy about. I don't think they were like, why are you pointing out flaws in our product? I'm like, we'll just implement good security in UEFI, and you'll be fine. So that advisory is actually still hanging out there. They update it every now and again.
you know, the interesting thing about AI, I was just, reading through my email this morning, and I was actually looking for the reference. I came across an ad from Mr. Christmas. They have this new thing for kids. It's a Santa telephone, and it's AI powered on the back end, which is cool. But I just talk
My
about an
security
app I don't
brain.
want somebody to. Yeah, mine too. It's like, oh, please don't freaking hack the prompts on this because this is really cute.
Oh, it
I mean,
goes so wrong.
I know it. I mean, I don't fault Mr. Christmas. They're coming up with a really cute idea.
Yeah.
But I don't know their cyber team, and so I don't want to throw them under the bus. But it's so easy to do, right? Because of just where our minds go.
There's AI
what's
stuff
the
in
company
everything.
that makes the kids' laptops where like people are talking to kids through it and stuff like that, and they hack the back end? What was that?
Oh, God,
Leap
that
or
rings a
something?
bell. Yeah,
LeapPad or
yeah, something like that. Here we go again. Leapfrog? No. But it had a leap relief in the name. Yeah.
you know what I'm
But,
talking
yeah.
about, right, Paul? You guys covered that.
I think we did. I don't remember the
Yeah.
details on it though.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
still
thinking, when did I
can't-
go from security to being altruistic?
I still can't get the DEF CON site to load for me.
Really? They've been having some trouble.
Do you run your own DNS infrastructure?
No,
Do you
but
have,
what's
like,
funny is
a pie
when I
hole or
was-
something?
When I was at the soccer, I was at the soccer thing, right? And I connected to their Wi-Fi, and I wanted to update one of my LilyGhost CC1101s with the latest Bruce firmware, and I was searching for Bruce firmware, and it wasn't loading. Like the website wasn't loading, and I'm like, how much you want to make a bet they're filtering hacking websites? So I got excited because I was like, oh, I have this VPN capability that I built into my tail. What is that called?
Tailscale?
Tailscale. Thank you. So Tailscale has like 2 different extensions. One is one of the nodes can act as a network advertiser and give you access to the like another network. So between my home network and the studio network, I actually set up the firewall at the studio to be a router. So basically those networks are kind of seamless for me because all my stuff is Tailscale. So I can SSH and connect to anything at the studio from home, which is awesome. Then it has an extension that one of your nodes can be an exit node. And so like a little bit of history is I used Linode for a long time to host some of my just virtual servers. and my DNS. But in order to use Linode for DNS, you have to keep at least one instance of a virtualized server, right?
Yeah.
So I spun up some, I think they're Ubuntu, two of the smallest instances you can create in Linode. They're like, I don't know, $7 a month each or something, right? And I put Pi-hole on both of those, and I made one of those an exit node. So when I was at the soccer event, I configured the exit node, and I was able to use the VPN and get to all my hacking sites.
Nice.
I was like, it works. I was like, that's cool. I never like had a use case to, enable it. So I'm like, oh, I got to do this every time I travel now. Is just route over this my own VPN network, and I can SSH to anything at home or in the studio at the same time, which is great.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is very cool.
All for free.
Well,
I don't know
the
how
cost
Tails.
of the Linode, right?
Well, yes, the Linode cost, but I'm also paying to host my DNS records there too, so I kind of just chalk that up in the. So I think it ends up being like $14 a month.
Yeah.
And so I can have external DNS, my own DNS servers, and my own VPN, which is that's not
Pretty
bad.
good deal.
Yeah,
So-
and a VPN to all my different devices.
So just to
DEF CON
rub
won't
salt in
load
his
for
wound.
me either.
So I just brought this. I just brought the site up a second ago.
Oh wait, but is it spinning or is it actually? The reason I was
Well,
going to the
are you the one sharing, Lee?
Yeah.
so
mean-
have they
Okay.
published the schedule or the talks for DEF CON yet?
Yeah, mine just says can't be reached.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
They haven't
Lots
posted the
of-
schedule yet, right?
I don't see the schedule. I'm looking over
Okay.
here. I mean,
DEF CON. If you go back to DEF CON 33,
yeah.
what does it say?
It's got the
Open
stupid
calls.
bouncing
Yeah,
things.
that's annoying.
It's very annoying.
Yeah, maybe
Not
they haven't,
Bahrain, damn it.
maybe they haven't published the schedule yet. My coworkers are accepted to DEF CON
Yeah.
to speak, and I've been
Oh.
I'm the point person for writing the media questions and blog and all that stuff. So
Oh,
I've
neat.
been very, very close to the research, and in fact, this week I've been helping them with the research, which is awesome. And so, like, I can't talk about it, obviously.
No, but
if it was public on DEF CON's site, you could go
Huh.
read the description, and kind of ask questions that I can't answer. But
So
that's what I've been
I
working
went to
on lately.
downforEveryone.orJustMe.com,
Yeah,
and it
I did that.
says it's not just you. DEFCON.org is down, but it's also saying Discord is down, Pokemon Go is down, Google Docs is down.
Oh, so wait, if you search for Eclipsium in that list, is it posted?
let's see.
I can
search
get
for-
to
Mickey or Jesse?
maybe Google Docs is down.
No Eclipsian.
No, it's not down. It was slow, but it's not down.
Oh no, there it is.
Is-
Yeah, help Linux in my webcam.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. So he's there.
So it is public.
Yeah.
So they
So
are.
why
just
can
took me a-
we get to it, but we can't get to it?
Isn't that weird? There must be some kind of weird cache.
Oh, maybe
thing.
because I'm
PGP thing?
in a signal group with the. Never mind. I don't know. DEF CON likes me better. How about that? That's just as realistic, right? It's.
Is this
I don't know. I
personal?
just. Well, actually, last time I think we were chatting on about this a few weeks ago, and it actually was down. And I messaged through that signal group, and I forgot who was it, Blue Fox or one of the other guys was actually up to their eyeballs in it, and they're actually they have like there's a memory leak somewhere in the server, and they actually have a job that every few minutes restarts it, which is gross. And it was something I would do, but they hadn't figured out exactly why, so they at least did that to keep the service up and running.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I would totally do that. That's the hack I would come up with. But yeah, they're continuing to, Jeff is frustrated. He's like, yeah, we haven't found it. I haven't asked lately if they fixed it, but
right.
I can feel it. And think about how many people, as we're less than a month away, right? So how many people are pounding on this site now?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
especially
thinking too.
if they've announced the speakers, people are going there to figure out what talks they want to see and such.
Yeah, and so like I said, I'm not hating on anybody here. I'm just like I'm totally feeling their pain. Actually, I'm going to stop sharing
Yeah. So my coworkers Mickey and Jesse are presenting. You can go read that
Yeah.
on DEF CON site. And
Yeah. Yeah.
once
And
they give their talk, I can actually talk about it, which is great.
so, you know, they're actually all done. I was about to say, there was a glitch with the 1.1.1 DNS resolver. Uh,
Yeah, I saw that.
I heard that.
and it
Cloudflare
was
said it
Cloudflare?
wasn't hacking related, right? It was just an
No.
no,
error.
no, no. It was just it was a configuration error. And then
Mm.
when that happened and they did some changing, some BGP routes were changing. Somebody thought it was a BGP problem, but it wasn't actually. It was just part of the resolution. The hard outage was less than an hour, but there was probably, I don't want to say an hour before of craptosis and then the recovery time. But they said that their DOH stuff wasn't impacted because, and what it said is because people use cloudflare-dns.com to configure it. And I'm thinking maybe because it gives them multiple, it picks one of a different set of IPs and then throws that in there. But because they have what, 4 IPs, 2 IPv6, 2 IPv4 addresses, which probably each themselves resolve the multiple services.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of infrastructure behind 1.1.1. I'm sure.
Yeah, and bless their hearts. And I thought, if I had set up like if I was using 1.1.1, what would I put would I have put there 1001 as my secondary, or would I put like 8888 in there as a
Yeah.
secondary?
So I
Do you
run
use
my
a different provider? Yeah.
I run my own
Yeah.
DNS.
Well, but you're
provider.
still are you pointing up to the roots, or are you pointing
No,
to
I'm pointing
some?
to the root. Yeah, and I point them to the
Yeah.
root. So my
And
own cache, because I don't like relying on anyone else's
Well,
DNS. It just feels
but
weird. Like I know how to do DNS.
Do you run one
so.
on DigitalOcean and one on Linode though? Do you separate
Right,
providers
yeah, I
for
should separate.
redundancy?
I should
Well,
separate it. Yeah.
Well, how crazy do you want to go? And actually, what my
Yeah.
thinking is that last time I was failing over, it was just the failing over between the two was gross because one was hung, so the failover wasn't showing you hard down. It didn't fail over.
Right. That's
So
actually happened to me before in my
But-
networking and application days. Absolutely.
Yeah, on my router I can put 3 in the, and I'll put 3 different in there. And like I said, the one time it just kind of hung, I'm like, son of a bitch. Shot in the drive-through here again.
So
but,
I did
yeah.
I did a kind of a neat thing this week. Have you guys ever used the Schneegen's auto unattend XML generator?
What?
It's called Schneegen's. No, I don't want window. I want an
I can't
entire
even guess on how to
screen.
spell that.
It's German. DE Germany.
SCH?
Yeah. So someone built this site. I'm not sure who did, and so the auto unattend XML file is a file that the Windows installer will read to get a bunch of settings, and so they built this awesome web interface, and it's a little tedious. Where's the I want the generator. Yeah. So this is the generator, and you can tell it everything from your language to the accounts you want to create to, I mean, there's a million different
Architecture.
settings. There's options in here to bypass the account creation, so it'll just
Oh,
create
this is the
local
one that lets you
accounts.
like totally hack how the build goes in, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And so it'll bypass
Maybe.
it bypasses all the checks for Windows 11. Like if it doesn't have a DPM, it'll just skip that. I think in my VM, so I built it a VM for this. In my VM, it created a virtual TPM to satisfy the requirement. You can everything from how your start menu wants to look, but the thing I like too
I've
is
actually got a
these,
ThinkPad with a TPM, but I guess it's like too old of a TPM. And
yeah, so
this
you
is
could use
stuck on
this
10.
if you wanted to put Windows 11. You could, so you can
My
disable
wife's
Windows.
laptop, it doesn't like the CPU. Can we tell it to
Yeah,
forget that?
yep.
Oh.
And then you can disable Windows Defender, a whole bunch of animation settings, and the one I like is a bunch of bloatware. So you can select all, and it won't install all of those apps, which is awesome. And it worked. So
Oh my gosh, that's quite a list.
So I had to create the VM. I can stop sharing. Stop. So I had to create when I installed the VM, I had to download the Windows 11 ISO and tell it to boot from that. But then in the VM, before you launch it, I had to go add a separate CD-ROM drive and give it the ISO. But I had to create another ISO called auto-unattend.iso that only has that XML file. And what the documentation said was, the Windows installer will actually look in that mounted ISO for the XML file and load it, and it did, which was I was amazing. This is working. And installed Windows 11 with a bunch of stuff, basically like a trimmed down, because I said disable everything, and so it's a trimmed down Windows 11.
So
'cause my
honestly,
Windows 10
auto-attend.iso is like an OEM trick for provisioning.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so now I have a Windows 11 because my Windows 10 VM blew up and it like wouldn't apply updates anymore. So I'm like, rather than troubleshoot that, like Windows 10's going end of life anyway. I just need a Windows 11. I need to get a product key. So I should buy a product key, obviously,
Yeah.
and not ask one of my friends for a product key.
Yeah.
But,
And you can find product keys for. I mean, worst case scenario, you buy it from Microsoft for $100 or $200, but you can
Right.
find product keys for less than that.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the amount of time I use this VM, I'm like, I need like a discounted product.
Yeah,
key or
you need the
something, 'cause it's not
$25
my
or
regular-
less product key. I mean,
Yeah, because it's not my everyday.
No.
Like I basically I have a Motu M2 and an OBS Bot Meet camera, and the only way to update those devices, well, the official ways to update those devices are to use their Windows utilities to pop new firmware on them. So I like to keep the firmware of my devices up to date. So that's one reason for and then anything else that requires Windows, like I need a VM just in case. Right.
well, but knowing you, Paul, I'd say don't get the home edition key. You want the
I want
Pro.
the Pro, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then I want to be able to if I want to leave it running in RDP,
Yeah,
and all that stuff, yeah.
It's just, and I wasn't even thinking about RDP. I was just thinking there's features that aren't in home that I know you're going to want to use.
Yeah.
Because
There's not
like you, I'd be the same way.
there's not a whole lot. Like it's joined to a domain,
Right. Which I don't care about.
and I think like run IIS and RDP or something like that.
And there's a couple
there's-
other too. Like you can't join to, you know how they want to hook you up to an Office account on the back end? The home
Yes.
edition, you can only go to the home. You can't go to the business Office account.
yeah.
But on the other one, you can. Which mostly I like it for synchronizing, OneDrive between stuff, right? So you don't have to worry about backing up the VM. You just have it stick everything on
Yeah.
OneDrive and the hell with it.
And that's a slightly different use case, right? If I was
no
using it
BitLocker.
as a
Yes,
workstation.
and BitLocker is on the is Pro, not home, right?
Yeah. I didn't
Right.
I
Yeah,
didn't do BitLocker. I was like, don't do BitLocker on my VM. Like just one less thing I have to worry about. Because
Well-
I'm not really storing any data on there that needs to be again, it's a utility.
But if it were
right?
like your I bet if it was a full laptop, you'd probably have a different answer about
Yes.
BitLocker.
Correct. Yeah, I have a Surface Pro, an older one floating around that's still supported.
Mhm.
That I haven't used in a while. I probably should fire that thing up and make sure it's updated. But I do keep one of those in the studio just in case. So yeah, I was impressed with the Schneegans. I talked about it before, but I actually used it and it worked really well. You don't get OneDrive, anything. Like I just
nice.
need Windows as a utility, right? No, I don't need all the crapware that it comes with. So,
The ecosystem stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I don't need it.
Yeah, like,
I just need Windows.
it's so silly on like a work computer, and the Xbox thing pops up, and it's like, hey,
Right,
Game
right.
Pass. Yeah, it's like
I mean, I understand why Microsoft
Read the
doesn't
room.
make that.
Read the
You
room
have,
Windows.
You have to hack
We're
around
doing
it to
work.
get it. But they should. I think they should have a Windows Lite edition, right? Because look, would I pay $50 if I could get a trimmed down version of Windows? Probably. It could save me, hacking around all that stuff in an unofficial way. If they had an official Windows 11 Lite, I would pay them $50 for that.
So Windows S was kind of intended to be that, where by default, and you could pay more to unlock it, but by default, Windows 10s, and I think they quit doing it. I don't think they're doing it at all anymore.
Probably not enough of a market for it, right?
You could only install apps through the Windows App Store.
Gotcha.
So it prevented you from downloading any kind of binaries, executing them, from untrusted locations.
Right.
So they're trying to make like an Android, iOS, version of
Right.
the OS, Chromebook, that kind of idea. And it just it wasn't popular with a lot of people. I imagine they looked at their data and they're like, yeah, everybody's unlocking this thing. They're getting pissed off immediately.
Yeah, and the nice part now is I've got VMware Workstation on Linux, which is now free, and so I can do snapshots super easy. So I just took it once I got it running. I took a snapshot. So I'm like, now I have a base Windows 11 I can always go back to.
Yeah. Yeah.
which is pretty awesome.
So this is really cool. And like I said, I'm looking through it, and there's all kinds of neat things in there. It's like you keep looking, you'll find more neat stuff.
Yeah, it's very, very detailed. I
Yeah,
was
this.
kind of concerned, like, am I gonna configure it so that something doesn't work or run into a horrible situation? But I didn't. So
Oh,
it's
I
good.
love their donate via PayPal or buy me a coffee at the top.
Yeah,
That's cute.
I should probably do that because
And
it's
I
a lot
wasn't
of work.
pushing you there, but I'm like, that's,
Yeah,
hey. I mean, there's something about. I mean, we're used to donate, right? But hey, buy me a coffee. That's kind of like, that's a nice way to, different way to put it.
right.
I'm liking this guy already.
Have you guys played around with Claude
No,
recently?
no.
A little bit. Not as much
So-
as I mainly use ChatGPT.
So my coworker turned me on to this, and was kind of anti AI and LLMs. But he's like, I'm using Claude. I'm like, what? And then we're on a call, and he was using Claude Live to reverse engineer firmware. And I'm like, what? I'm like, because the Claude command line, Claude code is the command line. You can install it on Linux, and it's a little dangerous because it'll run commands, so you gotta keep an eye on it. But it will go, oh, you want me to do this with the firmware? Like, oh, I need this utility. And you're like, okay, hold on. I can go and you can use it to install those utilities, or I can go, hang on, I'll install those. And then I'll go back to it. I'm like, all right, I installed those utilities, so go rerun. And it'll run those utilities and start pulling apart and analyzing firmware on the fly. I'm like, this is amazing. I mean, it doesn't replace a reverse engineer, but it was able to uncover artifacts more quickly than we could with other tools or manually, right? Because once you take apart firmware, right, you get a Linux file system. Okay, well, now what, right? Now you're going to do lots of things to figure out what kind of firmware is it, what kind of Linux is it, what binaries are there, blah, blah, blah. And it did it automatically. And so I turned it loose on my firmware directory, and I was like, I don't have code, but like I got firmware. And it's like, oh, this directory contains firmware, and you've got EMBA results in there, and it looks like you're doing defensive analysis of firmware. I'm like, yeah, that's it. I didn't have to tell it that. It figured that out just by looking at the files in the folder. And then I'm pretty sure I found a 0-day in a D-Link router with it.
Oh,
the
Wow.
next prompt I told it, I was like, go look, find all the Lua scripts in my firmware directory, and there's like, a dozen different firmware samples in there that have already been extracted. And I was like, go find all the Lua scripts, and then go find any vulnerabilities in the Lua scripts. And it found a command injection in a Wi-Fi config save script for a D-Link router that I'm pretty sure no one else has discovered before. Now, I don't know if that script is reachable from the web interface or if it's just a command line utility. I'd have to now go back and figure out if a Lua script available in the web interface actually calls that script, but it has a command injection that I don't think anyone's found before. I'm like,
So,
that's kind of impressive.
were you doing this in your Eclipse Sim context or in the Paul the Hacker context?
If it was just Paul the Hacker context, I was like,
Oh,
I can't talk about the stuff yet that I was doing for Eclipsium with it, but I was like, in the hacker context of Paul, just look at my firmware directory, which has a bunch of random D-Link routers, BMCs, and stuff in there. And I'm like, go tell me what you can find. And then you can just keep prompting it. And then it'll create scripts. If you're like, oh, I want to be able to backdoor this firmware or apply this firmware update. It actually created Python scripts for me that automated the process. And then it can save the whole configuration. It's like, hey, like, we're done. Like, I did everything you asked. You want to save this documentation to an .md file? I'm like, yeah, I do. Like, that's awesome.
the reason I was asking it, I was wondering, not only if you wanted to write up a blog, who you'd have to write up as, but I'm also thinking, if were you thinking about going to D-Link's VDP and saying, hey,
Yeah, I just found it this morning.
yeah, no, I'm not trying to
So,
rush you,
yeah,
but
I have to go now I have to validate it, right?
yeah,
Now I have
right.
to actually try and exploit it.
Mhm.
Which again,
Well,
I have to.
I heard something wrote some scripts for you to help you try that.
This is true. I can probably just keep prompting Claude, like, "Hey, where is this?"
Oh, you're
script called?
rolling up
How's
your
it going?"
sleeves. You're going to be down
Yeah.
in there.
Yep.
That keyboard's going to get if it's battery operated, you're going to run the battery down.
Yeah, and there's already a whole bunch of remote code execution exploits for this D-Link router that's end of life. So You know, it's nothing earth-shattering, but
But you know, this
pretty
is still
cool.
something you've been doing for you've been having fun with router security for what 20 something years,
right.
and that is so cool.
So I'm impressed with Claude. So I bought a $17 a month account for Claude,
Good.
and it's actually pretty
Right.
useful. I use this utility on Linux too. It's called Noi, NOI,
Mm-hmm.
and it aggregates all of your AI things.
Hmm.
So it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's really just like a web browser
Mm-hmm.
wrapper. Of course, now it's not gonna. I can't make it full screen, but I can show you quick
Yeah.
what this looks like.
But I've been
Because
having.
you're bouncing through a lot of browser tabs,
Mm-hmm.
but this is a little standalone utility. So I've configured Chat GPT, Perplexity, Claude, and Gemini,
Mm-hmm.
and so I can prompt all of them
Oh.
in one neat utility. Adrian, I think you use something similar on Mac, right?
What is it? What does it do?
So it gives me access to in one thing. So actually, I have a local model configured too, but I got ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, and Gemini just at a click.
So like you could
in one
give
app.
give a prompt to all of them at the same time and play
You know,
dueling AIs.
I'm not sure if it has that functionality yet. It might in
It's
here.
I
What is
it's
this link thing? But I
Yeah,
Yeah,
usually
so
prompt
I
them individually.
Yeah, I've used a variety of ones for using local models, and I have installed apps that just give you a local app for AI. But then I forget that they exist, that they're installed on my
Me
system,
too.
and I do everything through a browser tab
Through a browser.
because
Are you
I
are you
live in my
using
browser.
Perplexity as your search engine?
I used to. I haven't in a long time. My main frustration with it is oftentimes I would want to. I just need the web page.
Yes, me too.
Like give me the web page for this company, and it takes it like 5 seconds, and
Yeah.
like it's not convenient. So I've actually been using Kagi for a while, and Kagi also has. So it's kind of the opposite. Kagi by default is just your general search engine, but then if you want, you can click something up in the corner, and it works just like Perplexity. It has
Oh.
a AI assistant built in there.
Because Perplexity has their own browser now, but I hesitated to install that because they were doing some kind of ad tracking thing in it. I was like, no.
so
Yeah, and the rumor is that OpenAI wants to build a browser, wants to release a
Yep.
browser. So they've been talking about acquiring different things that are out there, but yeah, Kagi's great. It's I pay like a monthly fee for it, and results are much better than Google. You don't have any of the ads in your results like you do with Google, all the crap that you have to scroll by.
Right.
And then you can pop over to the assistant here, and then you can choose from all these different
nice.
models here. So
And
you
is that a
get all
standalone? Is that a standalone app?
this is just a browser tab.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Yep.
nice.
I don't know if they have a version you can install as an app, but yeah, all the Claude ones, OpenAI ones, Mistral, Gemini. You've even got DeepSeek models in here, Grok 3, Llama.
Neat.
Yeah, it was interesting. So I prompted Perplexity, and I was like, "Here's an attack scenario. I need you to make a diagram of this attack scenario." And Perplexity went off and tried to create it, and it created this horrible picture. Like, I don't know what it was. It like completely lost its mind. It was just like a bunch of bars with like random text, and I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense. All right, next. I went to ChatGPT. I prompted it the same way. It started to draw the picture, and then it was like, I can't do that because of policy violations. And I'm like, but it's just a diagram to help defenders understand how the attack works. It's not for attackers. It's like, yeah, and I argued with it for a while, and it was just dug its heels in, and it was like, no, Dave, I can't open the pod bay doors. Like, screw you then. So I went to Gemini, and Gemini was like, oh, sure, I can create that, and it created
There you
it,
go.
but it had arrows in all different places and text that was misspelled, but it was close enough that I could give it to a graphics designer along with the, attack description in text and be like, make this picture, match this, and we'll be good. So it helped. It saved me time anyway. But interesting how ChatGPT put the guardrails up. It had the best guardrails for creating an attack diagram. Which,
Yeah,
I mean, you
I
could say they're the
use-
worst ones, right? Because I'm like, this was not anything that attackers aren't going to benefit from. I even told them, like, attackers aren't going to benefit from this. This is for defenders, and it still wouldn't create it.
Yeah, that's dumb. Yeah, I use Mermaid Chart for that. Or if you want, you can do it for free. You can have ChatGPT generate the Mermaid code for you, which is just Markdown.
Okay.
And then you put it in a Mermaid generator, which if you use Obsidian, it can generate Mermaid. And then there's free tools out there that can do it. It doesn't get super pretty.
Yeah, I don't
like,
need it. Like, we have a graphics designer, at Eclipsium. Chris, he's amazing. So he could like take that and then make it look all pretty.
Right. So you have to give them a little better than napkin drawing.
Yeah.
But then well, the cool part of that is it's like, then there's no question about, IP. I mean, it's your draft that he turned into a real piece
Right.
of copyrightable stuff. So,
But I just love this approach of, okay, I'm just going to write down in code what I want, and then it's going to generate it. There's no like click and drag and move arrows from one thing to another.
Yeah. OpenSCAD is the same thing. You can
what are you going to do
use
with all the
their-
free time, Adrian?
I know you can use their programming language to make 3D models, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
And you
but-
can use AI to generate the code you can plug into OpenSCAD, which I've used with not great success, but I've got a lot to learn about 3D modeling still.
Yeah. You know,
But they do have AI built into it now, so you can just I don't even have to copy and paste over. I can just do it directly from
With
here.
a prompt, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
so I've been thinking, every now and then I get asked by friends, if we're using, they're using AI, what's the security advice? And I keep thinking it's got to be a single soundbite because more is not going to stick. And right now I'm telling people, if you like an AI, really pay for it. Don't use the free version where you're in a common
Right.
data pool. Is that good enough? Considering my use case, if it's a single soundbite you want somebody retained.
Well, I mean, your day job should be paying for at least
Well, of
one
course.
AI subscription, right? I think
Yeah.
at Eclipsium I can use multiple AIs and they'll pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're
Well,
it's really supportive. I mean,
So
I think I've said this in the past. They're like, how'd you generate that? And then they're like, how did you use AI to help you? And if you're interested, you didn't. They're like, well, next time make sure you use AI to help you save time. So,
dude,
Which is-
I'm hearing from companies that people are saying, I can't buy your security product because you're not using AI. Like they're actually getting
Well,
a mandate
Wow.
that they can only buy products with AI in it. And then I'm hearing other stories where the security budget's tapped out, but there's a separate dedicated AI budget
oh, interesting.
that they can tap
Oh.
into for stuff as well. So I'm talking to founders who are like, yeah, we're having to add AI features to our product just so we can make sales. So now in addition to
Right.
having to have a SOC 2, we also have to have an AI feature somewhere in our product so
Yeah.
we can
I mean, at the very
meet the
least,
buyer's
I
requirements.
think a lot of products will benefit from something that like Elastic and Endgame did back in the day. And we all thought they were crazy, I think, but they were like, there's a natural language processor built into our product, so it goes and collects data about your endpoints, and then you can just interact with it with human language and query it for results rather than learning the query language, right? Because everyone has their own query language. You can just do NLP. And I think today that's fairly easy to build into your product. It's not, I mean, on the scale of difficulty, it's not, and because there's so many tools available to do it now.
Right. Well, I worry about AI for AI's sake, but here you're augmenting a feature that's already there to make
Right.
it better, as opposed to just gluing it on or bolting
Yeah.
it on.
And I mean, this was AI before LLMs existed.
Well, yeah.
Now you could do it poorly with an LLM, I think, or you could do it really well with LLM technology and generative
Yeah.
AI.
And plus, when we first started this a few years ago, the state of the LLM is completely different. in terms of
Yeah.
sophistication. I mean, they still do silly things, but and there's still people out there that are developing relationships with their LLM,
Yes.
which is interesting.
Yeah. That's the
But
number one use case according to Sam's story on Wednesday, right? That
yeah,
people
and
are using it for companionship.
Adrian, do you remember when playing with Eliza all those years ago, or was that before your time?
Yeah, no, I did not play with Eliza.
It was limited and kind of weird, but it was kind of cute, cool, and kind of neat. It came up with interesting responses. It basically was keep you talking.
It was all based off of shit. What did we call that? Like the first version of machine learning, right?
Yeah,
What was the technique called?
prompt.
Bayesian filters? Was it Bayesian?
No,
And then there's
expert systems.
Okay.
I think it was an expert system. Yeah, I think we first saw expert systems in the late 70s, early 80s, which was kind of like loosely rule-based, like you would
Yes.
create rules for it. But it's still really useful for a lot of stuff. So the new feature that they live streamed yesterday, announced and demoed yesterday from OpenAI is ChatGPT Agent. And so this agent is kind of like if you combine a deep research model with computer vision, with the ability to. So the first thing it does is it creates like a virtual desktop with like a full web browser. It'll create slide decks for you, Excel spreadsheets for you, generate all sorts of different kinds of files. It can do research using either a text browser, which I think is how most deep research models use, but also a visual browser, so that it can take into account images and stuff like that as well. It can fill out forms for you. It can buy stuff for you. You can give it a credit card. So you're starting to get into these use cases where it's going to go schedule a vacation for you. And like, I'm just watching this thing thinking of all the ways that, anytime you ask it to do a bunch of stuff, like there's so many little mistakes it can make to make things go off the rails, though it is designed to come back to you and say, and ask little questions like, it's giving me 7 different options here. Like, I need some guidance on what your budget is, or if you need to rent a car. Like, it'll come back and ask you questions as it's going off and doing it. But it's an interesting age to get into. So Claude has their equivalent of that as well. I forget what they call it. The thing that can do the computer control, where you actually install an agent on your computer and it can use your desktop and enter commands and open apps. And
Yeah, that's what Claude's doing for me. Is the same thing. I'm a little kind of weirded out by it. I kind of feel like now I should run it in a VM.
Yeah,
and not give it.
But
full
this
access.
is all. I imagine this is in like a Docker container or a VM behind the scenes at OpenAI. So you're still just prompting it through a normal ChatGPT prompt.
Right.
It's not using your desktop. It's using a desktop.
Virtualized
somewhere.
desktop. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you said, a text-based browser that's then interacting. It's the old remote control and app problem, kind of juiced up a bit. It's kind of cool. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, and so when it's using a graphical browser, it's got to know where to click with the mouse. It's got to be able to right-click on things. It's got to be able to fill out forms. It's going to have to deal with fucking video advertisements popping up, and you have to click it off to use the website.
So long ago and far away, I was involved in application load testing, and we moved from character terminal mode stuff into graphic stuff, and it was a pain in the butt to script the load generator to do that. I'm thinking similar thing, different day, but when you got it right, damn, it was crazy what you could do with it.
Yeah, it's just the internet is the Wild West, man. Like, there's so many different interfaces out there. There's so many weird, quirky JavaScript things going on. Yeah, I wonder how long before somebody introduces a WordPress plugin or something like that blocks these kinds of agents and techniques from using the website.
Yeah, well, actually, I think there's becoming I remember reading something a few weeks ago about the AI bots were not following like robots.txt. So, which, so they
Oh,
were
the
actually,
scrapers, yeah. They
yeah.
were
So
ignoring
some
it, yeah.
sites were adding in much more direct blocks on the agents for those scrapers,
More
because
than blocks,
yeah, it was.
there are tools you can get for your website that will feed it garbage data and just keep it busy like a scammer.
Oh, so like scammer plus
Interesting.
honeypot in your
Yeah,
face AI. Oh,
data poisoning for your model. Yeah, on purpose. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah,
as long as you
some people
collect the
like their website costs have like tripled. Like Wikipedia's website costs have gone up by millions just because all these tech companies are just hitting them a billion times a day.
just scraping there.
ow.
Yeah, just their bandwidth costs have gone up
Right.
by millions a month.
So what I think the strategy is to be able to scrape the website and get the data in the most innocuous way, and then feed it to the LLM in the back end to kind of get around the guardrails. So you need some kind of front end process that collects the data, normalizes the data as best as possible, or at least formats it, and then puts it into an LLM in the back end. Because there
Well, and
was
then,
like, I think it's really, I don't want to give away too much, but it's been challenging to create something that scrapes in an LLM, but the technology is evolving to make that possible, which is it's pretty wild. Because you think about the problem of scraping and crawling websites that we've had and all the challenges, LLMs are suited to help with that.
and the frustration on behalf of Wikipedia is if you want to grab the entirety of Wikipedia, they
Yeah.
have ways for you to do that without hitting the web front end.
Yeah. You can
Right?
download like
Like
an
they've got it
archive.
compressed and packaged up, and you can grab it over torrent or something like that, and you're not killing their bandwidth bills or DDoSing the website, and they just ignore all that and they just scrape it anyway.
Right. Yeah, I can see that being a problem. Kind of like the DEF CON website.
Yeah, yeah, I still can't get to it.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just came across something on a completely different note. I didn't know we had bills running to the House to try and normalize or mainstream crypto. Like they just passed the stablecoin bill, which is a type of crypto.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
pegged to the U.S. dollar.
I think so. Yeah. Well, and that'd be a big difference with something behind it like that.
Right.
The I mean, I know
Yeah,
we're trying to it's
crypto
trying to
didn't
become
go
more
away, but
no, and
It's
it
fueling
feels
the
less Wild West though.
It's fueling the criminal
NFTs feel like
underground.
they went away though.
That was a flash.
Yeah,
in the
well.
pan. Yeah. Because what was that? NFTs were just.
It was
what were
dumb.
you
I'm buying this representation of a thing that isn't. Yeah, no.
backed by anything or
Yeah, but I
I
spent
mean,
money
they
and I
still
feel good
exist,
about it.
but it's appropriately niche.
Yes.
It like went mainstream for like 6 months, and it was nuts, and everybody made fun of it,
Yeah.
and then it kind of went away.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting. And then apparently there's the Genius Act, the Clarity Act, and the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act. Try and spit that out fast. All working about digital money and sovereignty and privacy and all. So I'm not going to go deep into them. I'm just like, cool. Our representatives are working on something. We can argue whether they're going to get it right or wrong, but at least they're not ignoring it, right? It's a thing. Then we'll see what happens. And what else? Yeah, it's been a good week.
I still, I still can't get my Hackberry Pi working correctly. I did this, so it has an onboard screen and keyboard, and it also has an HDMI port on the Hackberry Pi. I've got Kali Linux running on it, but I connected it to an external display once, and then when I disconnected the external display and I booted it up, the screen was blank. It wasn't recognizing the onboard. So I used AI to help me configure the config.txt to recognize both displays. Now, if I connect it to an external display, I get the onboard display and the external display, But if I disconnect the external display, I still don't get the internal one. So there's something in the config where I have to tell it to auto detect, like, is it booting with an external display or just the onboard one? Like, it's not loading the right stuff. I think it's trying to load both all the time, and when there's no external display, I don't know if it fails and doesn't load the internal display. It's driving me nuts because I want to write about this because it's
Right,
an
well,
awesome
it-
platform, but I'm just having this weird issue.
Right. And I hadn't provisioned a Raspberry Pi in like several years, at least, or not using an image that wasn't like all set up. You just mount it, configure things, and
Yeah.
put it in your Pi. I used the Raspberry Pi imager yesterday for the first time, setting in forever, and I'm like, it's come a
Oh,
long
that thing's come a
way.
long way. That thing's awesome. You can pre-populate Wi-Fi networks and SSH keys.
And which I did, and it was
And
like,
other config now
way.
too. Yeah, they made an update. You can put other. You can basically customize in a more granular level the Raspberry Pi OS. But
Yeah.
the Raspberry Pi imager is amazing.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? This thing went like mainstream. This is very cool. It took me like 5 minutes. I was expecting to spend a couple hours. Mind you, I dicked around for a couple hours anyway, but that's just,
Yeah, just
who
take
we
that.
are.
Yeah, because
and it was-
what did I do on mine? So I've got an internal NVMe that I put on it, and I've got an SD card, and the SD card has Raspberry Pi Raspbian on it, and so you boot on that, and then you use Raspbian, and you take the Kali Linux image and you image it to the NVMe, and then you go into Raspberry Pi config and you tell it, hey, try to boot from the NVMe first. If that fails, go back to the SD card. So this little device that's battery powered in your pocket can actually boot both of the operating systems on it, which is pretty wild. I haven't figured out how to get into the boot menu to select it. I got to figure out what the config is. Like, I want some selector to come up and be like, hey, do you want to boot Raspbian or do you want to boot Kali Linux? I haven't figured that out yet, but I'm sure that's not hard.
So, you remember the Pwn phone? I mean, I'm like,
Yeah.
Pwn phone in your face. Check out what Paul's doing.
Yeah,
I mean, the Pwn phone was cool, by the way.
absolutely. I still have one in a
some of
drawer
the
somewhere.
I don't have the Pwn phone anymore, but I found the bag with the accessories the other day. With the Bluetooth
I had the
and the other
tablet.
stuff.
I bought a Nexus 7 just for that.
Yeah.
Just to run that on it. Yeah.
It was neat. The problem I had with the phone was not whether it worked or not. It's just the display was too damn small. Like,
Yeah.
it was really cool what it could do, but and I remember talking to somebody about they were doing a bunch of stuff with drones, and I said, why don't you put a Pwn phone on a drone? And the cost for failure if the drone crashed was a little more than they could stomach,
Right.
but they thought it'd be a cool idea otherwise. Yeah,
Yeah,
floating attack
actually,
platform.
the keyboard and the display. See, now I don't know what's going to happen if I... Can you see this?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's connected to my HDMI cable. But, like, the keyboard and the display isn't bad.
no,
It's got 2 USB ports on it, so you could easily put a hub, and it's running Kali. And so this is like my portable... I've gone through so many iterations of I want to take Kali Linux with me, and have Raspberry Pis and all kinds of devices. This so far is the best one. Like, once I get it working, the way I
Metasploit
like
in your
it.
pocket.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty. Well, also like Wi-Fi attacks in my pocket. I'm like, I need to crack this Wi-Fi network. I'm like, I don't have a device with me. Yeah, maybe I have a laptop with me. Maybe I don't.
Is
But
that
like, this thing
too
I can
much for a
just-
Flipper Zero to do all that?
Well, it's only 2.4 gigahertz wireless on a flipper. That's the
Oh,
problem.
no 5 gig or 6
Yeah.
gig.
Yeah. So
the
with this one, I've got dongles. I've been testing out this one I bought on Amazon Prime Day. It's a pretty cool little dongle, and I've got the
Neat.
Alpha Networks one, and I've got some Bluetooth, nice Bluetooth dongles as well, so you can do Bluetooth and Wi-Fi attacks right from that little device, which is pretty wild. Someone also upgraded the graphics. He put some kind of extra graphics on it. I don't know. It was an Instagram post I saved. There's a couple of people with these that are posting on Instagram. Pretty wild.
And I was looking at power banks yesterday just because I wanted to see what something I needed to run on batteries for a lot longer. You can get 50,000 millivolts for like $30 now.
It's amazing, right?
Millivolt amp hours, rather. Yeah. And I'm screwing up the acronym. Sorry, but it's like
milliamp hours. Yeah.
that's the word. I mean, they take forever to charge, but they last forever. And it's kind of like, I'm just thinking, if you didn't have enough battery power, you put one of those in your. It's about the size of two of the larger smartphones
Yeah.
stacked, and
Yeah.
you could like probably run for days.
Yeah, I've got one that's it's the maximum that you can take on a plane, and it'll push 200 watts total.
So you can power
Ooh.
your you can power your laptop with it. I
Yeah,
have one
these
of those.
advertise
yeah.
being able to push
It-
power to your laptop.
Yep.
It'll recharge my framework roughly 1.5 times if I'm not using it while it's charging.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. You have to send me a link to that
That's cool.
because I've got the new Framework 12 on order
Nice.
that
Yeah.
will replace my Framework 13 for travel, and I like the smaller form factor, the touch screen, and all that stuff. And it's nice because I think it'll power from a battery pack. I don't think those draw a ton because the screen's not as big.
No.
The problem with my Framework 16 is I configured it with the AMD graphics card, and the laptop is massive, and the power bank is massive. I mean, it's an awesome laptop. Don't get me wrong, but it's kind of big to travel with.
Well, you basically made a portable workstation.
Yeah, that's so.
Which is
I gotta
cool.
find a spot upstairs to work. My wife's always bugging me to work upstairs, especially in the summer when the kids are home. So that's what I'll use, upstairs. It's a pretty beefy machine too.
But it's
Yeah, I
also
just dropped
amazing what you
the-
can get in that small form factor in terms of performance.
Yes.
I just dropped the link, the Amazon link in the chat there.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, $100, 2,500 milliamp hours, 200 watts total. Like, has a little screen. It tells you how much energy it's sending to each device,
Whoa, neat.
and can do one device up to 140 watts, which I think the max my framework can do is like 80.
Yeah, because the one I got doesn't have the. I don't know. Like I said, I bought it for a low. I was bought it to last a long time for a low draw application.
Is it just Southwest that requires you take your batteries out?
You mean?
No,
take
you can't. No, it's an FAA thing. You can't
Yeah,
put
you can't in the-
lithium ion under the plane at all.
right.
But
You
if
have to have it with you.
in Southwest, when you carry on, they're now asking you to take out any of your batteries and have them like on your person. I don't know if it's during takeoff and landing or for the whole flight. I think it's for the whole flight.
Like
They're
it
asking
can't
you
be
to
in the
do that.
backpack in the bin.
Correct.
That's new. I don't
Really?
remember that
Because
last time we flew.
they're catching fire.
Well,
But
Yeah,
I
no,
think it's just
that's only I've never been on Southwest.
It's only
before,
Southwest then,
but-
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been on I've been on United, American Airlines.
Yeah,
I've
me
been
too.
on pretty much all the other ones, and
they don't make me do that.
This year,
Okay.
nobody's ever
But
made
Southwest
me do
is
that.
like you got to have them outside your bag, and I'm like, the first time I'm like, do you know how many batteries I have in my bag?
Yeah.
All this device.
And
I'm like, oh, this pile
Does that
of crap in
include
my-
everything with a battery in it, like every tablet, every laptop, every phone?
But think about like your Flipper Zero and all my Arduino.
Yeah, because if you're
stuff
worried
has
about a
battery.
fire, like most of that's happened not with these recharging battery things, and most of it's happened with like a phone or something like that,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
device that has a battery in it.
Well, and I'm worried about the batteries we get from China.
Yeah, yeah,
where
that
I had
have
one
no
floating around. Yeah, this
inspection
one.
sticker on them.
Like these
No
are the
United
ones I buy.
Laboratories.
Yeah, to power my devices, and they came from AliExpress, and they use the JST connector. But this is the one I'd be like, this would probably explode more.
This
than,
is the most sus.
yes,
So-
100%.
what I'm seeing is they want you to keep portable charging devices, to include lithium batteries, visible during the flight, as opposed to,
Yeah,
your
that's
Flipper
standard.
Zero, no, but your
Which is
power
just-
bank, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, your devices with batteries are equally likely to burst into flames.
100%.
Well, more so, I would say, because those batteries are in use.
right.
The batteries you use to recharge stuff are not currently.
Yeah, if you don't put like the CC1101 T embed, I think it's called, in sleep mode, it's using the battery.
Yeah,
turn
yeah.
it
There's
off.
no current. There's no current draw coming from the batteries you use to recharge stuff. Like
Right.
they're probably the least concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really
So
bad.
going into their actual policy site on Southwest, they want you can travel with up to 20 batteries, but when they're being used, they have to be. But otherwise, they can be put away, but not in the belly of the plane.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, if you're using that lithium-ion battery, they want it to be visible.
That's interesting. I think I've traveled with more than 30 battery-powered devices.
Spare batteries, spare battery. The word spare is in there. So you'd have to have
Okay.
your end devices plus more than 20 spare batteries. I think you're good, Paul.
I think I checked through TSA once when I was going to GurCon with at least 30 M5 stack devices, but not all of those were battery powered.
Right.
The ones with the keyboard, I can't remember which ones those are called, have a battery in them, but their smaller devices didn't. But I had probably 30 of them in my bag, and it's funny. My bag got pulled over at TSA, and I'm like, well, obviously.
Yeah.
But then he's like, you can't have this toothpaste. I'm like, what? He's like, what are those device? I'm like, he's like, what are those? I'm like, oh, those are just like hacking devices. I'm going to a hacking conference. He's like, oh, that's fine. He's like, but you can't have the toothpaste. I'm like,
That's kind of cool, but
What
you
does that
know,
50 pounds of lockpicks, but
yeah, there was lockpicks in there too.
What's up with this cologne, dude?
Yes. I do. I travel with devices and lockpicks, and this little thing that I got from Trustwave. It looks like a credit card size thing, and it has like teeth on it with like screwdrivers and stuff. And it has like a couple like sharper ends on it that I traveled with because I'm like, if I need to open a box, I can't travel with a pocket knife. So I've traveled with one of those for
Like-
probably 15 years.
I've always
Right,
got this
yeah,
thing on
like
me,
that.
which is
Exactly,
like
it looks
a
just like that.
a multi-tool, and it's
Yeah.
in my wallet, and nobody ever spots this.
Well, I think one time they pulled it out, and I'm like, oh, that's been in my bag for like 15 years. And he was like, yeah, whatever, and he put it back. I was like,
So
Also-
I traveled
toothpaste
for
gotta
15,
go.
15 years. I traveled with lockpicks, not because I needed the lockpicks traveling, but just to see.
Just because that's
Yeah,
insane.
if I just to test to see if I could get away with it, like if anybody would spot it, what they would say. And once coming home from Las Vegas,
Okay, I have a story
one-
too. Once, yep.
one of the TSA folks said, "What are these?" And I said, "Like I didn't." By that point, I traveled like 7 years with these things,
Yeah.
so I didn't have anything planned in my head.
Pre-planned, yeah.
So I was like, "Tools."
Yeah.
He was like, "Okay."
So I was coming back from DerbyCon once, and TSA took the lockpicks out, and the lady was like, "What are these?" And I was like, "Those are lockpicks." Like without hesitation, I'm like, "I'm not lying. I'm not." The tools
Right,
are
right.
also not lying. And she's like, she actually told me, she's like, "Oh, I would just wanted to make sure you weren't going to lie to me," because she's like, "I know what these are, and I want to make sure you weren't going to
Oh.
lie." And I was like,
See, I didn't
Interesting.
lie either.
"Yep,
I
tools.
said,
Yep, they're tools. Absolutely."
if they asked me to elaborate, I would have elaborated, but they
Correct.
did not.
Yep. I just said they're a lockpick because, like, the ones I travel with, I'm like, you can take the lock. The lockpicks aren't expensive. They're actually in a case that I got from Johnny Long when he had the folks in Africa like making like cool pouches and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
bought like
yeah.
a little pouch thing, and that would be the thing. I'd be like, you can't take that. Like, I can't get another one of those. Like, that's handmade in Uganda, from back in the day. Like, I gotta have that. But you can take the lockpicks if you need to, though.
there you go.
I've got
That's fair.
Handmade in Uganda.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
nice.
one of
Yeah,
those-
it's like really cool, eccentric stuff. You can't.
That's
buy
Patent
cool.
holder. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was talking to a buddy of mine, he learned about lockpicking, and I thought, then he pulled out this little 7-in-1 set about like yay that's folding. Looks about the size of a pocket knife, but it's not. That he keeps in his fanny pack, and it's like he's ready.
It's
And I was
handy-
just looking
it's
it
handy to
up,
have.
and they're $6.78 on AliExpress,
Right.
so they're super cheap.
Nice.
But I'm thinking, I bet so if TSA stopped him, it's not a knife.
Correct.
So still,
I had to pick open the lockbox that held the cash when we used to sell T-shirts more than once because someone else
Yeah.
had the key and they needed to make change for someone and they weren't at the booth yet. That's my
Yeah.
my primary
Yeah.
use case.
For practical purposes, I've had to pick a lot of locks before. Like either somebody lost something or somebody was playing one time we were at a party and we were on a deck and there was no stairs down from this deck and it was
Yep.
like 20 feet up. And somebody thought they were funny and they locked the door on their way out, got in the car and left.
oh,
And I just happened to have the
On you.
the lock picks on me and I picked us back into the house.
Wow, you're the hero,
I was that day.
right?
yeah.
I mean, the beers were already free, but yeah, people were very appreciative. A couple
I
people
bet.
kind of freaked out when that happened.
And I really suck at lock picking too. I know
Well,
enough
but
to be dangerous, but I'm not.
I
I'm not great at it.
with any lockpick you would encounter on a normal occasion, I have no
Yeah.
problem
Nice.
opening. You know, like your typical deadbolts, that kind of thing. Even like fox pick, I loved. Have you done pick tac toe?
No.
So they have a game where they have 2 grids of 9 locks, and they're varying levels of difficulty, and
Yep.
you and another person go head to head, and like if they grab the center one, it turns green on theirs and red on yours. You can no longer pick that. So it's
I see.
tic tac toe, but with lock picks, and so you're
Oh, that's-
racing to get
Oh.
tic tac toe.
That's
Yeah,
a pretty cool
it-
game, actually.
And the Fox Pick guys, Morgan from Fox Pick, and Genie Morgan made this himself. Like it's all 3D printed. Like he did all the wiring, all the circuit design for it,
Nice.
and it is so much fun to play.
I'll bet it
Bet.
is.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah, there's a video somewhere of me challenging some folks on it.
Yeah, the padlocks. I was watching a video about the padlocks where you just take a lock pick, and it's the ones with the combination and the little wheels, and you just stick it in the middle one, and the mash lock just pops open. They make it look really easy when they do stuff like that, but they've obviously practiced it, and because I've had to pick my way into my safe, and I think it was Lockpick Lawyer was like, take a coat hanger and put it in the LED. He's like, you just gotta bump the LED light on the outside of the safe, and then you shim it, and it unlocks the thing. And I did it, and I think I messed up the electronics in my safe. So now I have to get
Oh,
a new
no.
safe. Yeah, because I put new
Have you
batteries
seen-
in the safe, and now it won't come on. I mean, I could probably take it apart and figure out what electronics I messed up inside of it, but I keep it. Basically, now I want a biometric safe for the bedroom, so I'm going to replace it.
Have you guys seen the beef between Proven Industries and McNally?
No,
So oh my God, guys. the let me see if I can find a good video here. I'll paste this in the chat so you guys can check this out. But so there's this company, Proven Industries, that makes trailer locks specifically. And they've got all these videos showing them taking like pry bars and sledgehammers and stuff to their competition versus their locks, and they're like, yeah, most secure locks ever, and blah blah blah. And McNally is he's got to be nearly as popular as Lockpicking Lawyer, and makes very similar videos. And his videos are hilarious. That's one of them that I included there. And he can pull apart all their locks quicker than using the actual combination or key. Like some of their latch locks, like he's just slapping these open. Like if you slap the lock really hard, it just pops right open. The spring latch releases.
oh, I see. Yeah, I'm watching the video you posted now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I-
he's just
He's
chatting, and
shimming.
as he's chatting, he shims like a dozen of these, and they just
Wow.
pile up in front of him. And so they sued him.
And so this is for
uh,
like your trailer, like on your like a boat trailer or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wait,
Streisand effect.
It says I can show it on the. That's kind of neat. Show on stream. Oh, that just shows the link on.
Oh
stream.
yeah, it just shows
I
the.
see. That
yeah,
was your Amazon
Not-
link. Yeah.
not the actual.
I thought it was
video.
going to show the actual video, but it just shows the link.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, let's try that. Let me.
You could share your screen and play the video.
I would say
Yeah,
I-
let's see if you get audio from it. Here, let me share.
I'm not sure if you get audio.
I suspect you don't. But
I doubt it unless I reroute it somehow.
I'm on Linux, so you definitely wouldn't get audio. It's probably some pipe wire configuration I could do to do that. Yeah, you don't get audio because he'd be talking right now, right?
yeah, I'm just watching him go and go and go. I'm just like, how many of those damn little
Wow.
shim things has he got?
He's got a whole pile, and they're just soda cam shims.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you
well,
can
Pretty
only
much.
He can only use it once. Is that the deal? Like, it gets bent.
Mhm.
Yeah,
after
it gets kind of trashed pulling that thing
Right.
out because
Single use only.
the mass of that thin aluminum compared to the mass of the lock itself. Yeah, you can see that thing is destroyed after you use it.
I see. Yeah, and he picks
I
up a
think
new
some
one.
of those soda cans might actually be beer can based, but
Kind of looks like Budweiser. Yeah.
yeah,
Coors
no,
Light.
it's kind of
Coors Light.
cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Looks like Oh, maybe not.
He
I
he
mean-
makes his point,
Yeah.
right? So
And
So
then
they sued him.
yeah, so they were talking shit about him. So this whole thing started because they posted a video, and then somebody in the comments on their Instagram video was like, "Yeah, we should have what's his name." McNally. He calls it like the McNally tap or something like that. Like he's got
Yeah.
a name for some of the techniques he uses, and they come back, Proven Industries, and they're like, he only goes after like cheap locks, right? Okay, here we go.
ouch.
Game over.
Yeah,
Game on. I
you-
mean, it's
it might as well said unhackable, right?
Right.
Like they threw down the gauntlet, and it was on from that point. So he
Does
went
he
after
does
him.
he sell lockpicks to anyone on his site, or do you have to like
Oh, yeah.
fill out a form, or you can just buy them?
I haven't bought anything from him, but
Right. Okay.
but yeah, it's Covert.
I know most
Industries.
things you can
Is that the
buy.
name of it?
Some sites will require that you get some kind of approval to buy it. Like you have to state that you're like a pen tester or something. I want to say one of the. I don't know if it's the one Deviant runs. I think it might be. Certain things require approval. They won't sell them
He
to
has-
just anyone. But lockpicks
He
you
has
can buy.
so much on his
But
site.
you can't buy lockpicks on Amazon or eBay. I know Amazon you cannot buy lockpicks. They refuse to sell lockpicks, which is interesting. We talked about it on the show, like because you can't buy Flipper Zeros on eBay or Amazon.
Oh,
either,
really?
But
Mhm.
they'll sell you any kind of other electronic ESP32 device that you can turn and do the same thing with. Like the T-Embed CC1101 is almost feature compatible now with the Flipper Zero. Like so much so
Yeah.
I've started carrying that rather than my Flipper Zero, simply because the primary reason is it doesn't look like a Flipper Zero.
Yeah.
Because people now kind of recognize the Flipper, but you carry one of these other devices and people have no idea
Yeah,
what it is.
it's very recognizable. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, the other thing is they contacted his wife, and
Oh, interesting.
he got really upset about that, and them like saying, oh, the videos are fake and stuff like that. So now there's this whole series of videos of him going to his Amazon locker, getting a brand new lock from Proven Industries out of the package, and like right there in front
Right
of the
there, yeah.
Amazon locker. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no cut in the video, nothing, just a live
Yeah,
feed of him
exactly.
pulling out of the package. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Exactly. But yeah, his site, Covert Industries, I assume it's his or he works there or something like that. I have never seen such a variety of bypass tools and lockpicks and like everything.
What's
of
his website?
Physical pen test. CovertInstruments.com.
Covert Instruments.
Yeah, I just dropped it into the chat there.
Oh wow.
He's even got 3D print files for stuff.
of course.
Oh yeah, these look like really nice lockpicks.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what happens when we do podcasts together. We spend money.
Yeah.
Gadgets
Well,
are fun.
Yeah.
Well,
sucker.
I'm having no trouble holding back, except I'm twitching, because I'm gearing up. Yeah, I've got a generator install coming in, so that'll spend some money for me.
Yeah, I've got a new washing machine coming in too,
Yep.
which is an LG one, which is also smart. So I kind of can't wait to hack it. I'm gonna have to reverse engineer the firmware on it now.
So
just- Don't hack it to the point where you need to buy a second one.
Well,
I was
that's
gonna say-
yeah. I have stuff where I'm like, yeah, I want to do stuff, but I'm like, yeah, this is
Yeah,
what
also
I
don't
use.
wanna break
I use it. Yeah, I don't want to break it.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, don't hack it to the point where all laundry goes to Paul to be done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm curious to see what this thing does.
Yeah. Well,
Comes
it's
in.
you know, the I mean, I was reading about. Yeah, I've been working on getting my weather stations to talk to more servers on the back. And one of the proposed solutions is you create a man in the middle, a little hotspot, and then you can just intercept the traffic. I'm
Yeah.
thinking you probably do something like that with the LG, and then you see what's going on.
You're making me want to put a weather station in my house now, Lee.
Sorry,
This is
it's been something I've been wanting. I started on this because I put in a new automated sprinkler timer,
Mm-hmm.
and it has the ability to not only talk to mainstream weather sources, but you can talk to personal weather stations.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'm
'cause
like,
the rain
there's
sensors they have on the sprinkler systems are crap, right? I had
Right.
one and it was awful.
so this one,
Always
this
thought it
one,
was raining or something like that. I think the sensors die. It was terrible.
yeah. So this one, the sensors are like one is like 12 miles, 15 miles away. I'm like, the microclimates, it might be raining there, but not here.
Yeah, but not here. Yeah.
And the other one is a little closer. But then I found I've got like one just down the street because it's somebody's personal one.
And it
So I thought, well,
we were
why
talking
not
about this
me?
before. So it talks wireless and RF signal, right? Because I was telling
So
the
the
story.
weather
like,
station wireless talks to a base of some ports, which then hooks it up to whatever backend services read it.
Yeah.
Um,
And your base
and-
station's just like a Raspberry Pi, right?
Right, and so I'm working on a fake base station that's a Raspberry Pi that's going to
Yep.
just hooked up like
An
it's a
SDR.
client to it with an
That's
SDR.
just an SDR. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll
fact,
have a website on it that gadgets
it-
the data.
Is it this SDR? It looked like that SDR.
Kind of a lot like that.
Yeah. Very. Yep. That's a good one. They're not expensive either.
Yeah. Well, I also was I got the one from Larry's class, the
Oh yeah. Well,
Hacker RF1.
that's the nice one. Yeah.
and but it needs it needs the SCAPI SDR driver to work with the RTL stuff.
Yep.
And I was having trouble, so I just went out and ordered a same day delivery one of the other one because I was trying to eliminate variables, because what I'm not finding is I'm not seeing the transmissions in
I got
here. Actually, if I put it out closer to the station, I get them, but then it still says, "What you're talking about, Willis? I don't know what that is." So
Okay.
I'm ready. I've got the source for the RTL 433.
Yep.
Just I want to talk to Larry before I start hacking it. Anyway, but the thing, like I said, this was all because I wanted to have the weather in my yard reflected in my sprinkler timer.
Right.
It would have been cheaper if I just stopped at the nearby PWS personal weather stations and just picked the close one.
Right.
Home Assistant can help you with that. Also,
Yes, it can. And
Yeah, that's
I've-
one
I've-
project I haven't started.
I'm deep into Home Assistant at this point.
Oh no.
I've got the
Uh-oh.
voice component. I've got the voice piece of it.
Yeah, I bought an ESP32 based device that can do the voice piece of it. What was
It's
it? I
Nabu.
haven't done anything with it. Is
Okay,
that what it's
Nabu.
called?
Yeah, Nabu. Well, you can change the wake word, but that's the default one because I think it's Nabu Industries. That's the commercial company behind Home Assistant, or Nabu
Neat.
something. I forget.
Yeah. Is it amazing the rat holes we go down for fun? It's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, there goes a day or two, but damn, it's fun.
But people have
Yeah.
told me too, like if you mess with ESP32s and Home Assistant, it's a great way to learn because there's so many code examples.
Oh,
Also, I'm kind of shocked at how bad the commercial versions of some of this stuff is. Like I've built dashboards in Home Assistant that work 20 times better than the official app for the product
Right.
that they ship. Like for
What the
whatever
hell?
reason, there's crazy latency in the commercial app. Like you tap to unlock your front door, and it takes like 3 or 4 seconds. But with like Home Assistant, everything's instantaneous. Like
And Home Assistant
don't
has
know
an
what they-
app. They have an app you can put on your phone.
oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
yep.
I haven't played with Home
Interesting.
Assistant, obviously. But
And that app like has widgets and stuff, and you know
Mm-hmm.
like makes it really easy to use. You can even use the voice assistant from the app on your
Right.
phone as well.
yeah, because right now I have Google Home devices for my Home Assistant, and
We
I
have
haven't
those
paid
also.
it- I haven't paid
And we have
attention to
Apple
'em.
devices, and we
Yeah.
have one Alexa device. So we've
Right.
got like one of everything.
I would love to rip all that out and do an open source implementation
Me
to
too.
control everything in my home. Right.
I know somebody that has a PC with a pretty basic GPU in it, and he
Mm-hmm.
has successfully built his own like Ring camera system.
Yep.
Where it detects a package on the porch, like it's
Right,
doing
right.
object detection in the
Yep.
video in real time.
nice.
And he's been pretty and he's like a full-time CISO. And
Right,
he's,
right.
been able to do that in his spare time. So it's pretty impressive you can do that at this point.
So I pretty much now my home assistants here are all from Amazon. And I didn't realize I was up to 7 of them until I started walking through. Because what happens is I'll get a new one and I'll demote one to a lower class room, and then I'll get another one and trickle down. And as long as they're not unsupported, and I'm like, wait a minute here. I mean, they're in the garage. They're not, whatever the hell, right? But I noticed when I switched from my Wemo devices to TP-Link, the response time to turn things on and off went to a fraction in terms of performance.
I have a lot of the TP-Link Kazaa stuff here at home and in the studio. Like I was saying, it's pretty good.
So
It's
some of
pretty
that stuff is
snappy.
getting end of life, didn't it? Like
Wemo did, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're getting rid of their app and the devices that hook to the old app. They have the new stuff that's it's not Match, but the predecessor that's supposed to be independent and will work directly with a home assistant.
Time for the equivalent of Tomato OS for smart,
I was thinking the
smart
same thing.
devices, smart home devices. Yeah,
I think Larry was ripping one open because he thought it was an ESP 80. What is the 8000 series ESP32?
Yep.
It's not ESP32. It's the other one, the earlier version of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and he didn't have his triangular screwdriver or.
Yeah, he was trying to take it apart live on the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
we were
nice.
talking about it. Yeah.
But no, and I just went through and I was, Wemo sent that end of support, which is cool. They're totally cool. But I'm like, I've got like $500 in Wemo devices here. I want to look at what I want to do, and I need one more. I don't want to, and but it was during Prime Day, so for $130, I replaced all of them plus a couple extras with the TP links, and I have everything I need, and I was up and running in a few hours, and it was so much faster to provision those than the Wemos had been. I'm like, this used to be hard. So I just but that was just my reaction. I mean, I could have gone to hook them all up to an Apple or other home device, right, and gone that way.
Yeah, because I have multiple apps because I have Philips Hue and TP-Link stuff and a Ring camera and a Real Link camera system. So like I have a folder of like a bunch of apps that I use. But
yeah, I still have my Nest cameras. I still have my that's where but what the hell? It's kind of fun. Except maybe not so many alerts on the phone when the cameras see something.
Yeah, I know that can get super annoying for sure.
Yeah. My kids have a Ring camera installed in their apartment, and they're right next to the stairs. So every time somebody goes out to walk a dog,
yep.
Yeah, you just and it runs down the battery, and it's a pain in the ass. You can tune it, so there are some settings you can go in. Yeah.
My problem is my front yard Ring cameras. I mean Nest cameras. They're principally there to keep an eye on my Christmas decorations, so I need to have it viewing to the sidewalk, which guess what? Not so much a problem for the driveway cam because if somebody's in the driveway, it doesn't set it off very often. But so yes, I should probably tune them a little more. And it's more of a safety thing. I'm worried about somebody walking through my display and tripping on the wires than I am.
Right.
Stealing stuff.
Because I'm trying to bring joy. Can you imagine somebody getting seriously hurt walking through your yard that you set up to make people happy? That would just suck.
That would suck.
So, but it's fun toys we get to play with. Oh, by the way, they do have solar panels for those Nest cameras.
Yeah, I've got a couple of nice solar ones for Real Link. Didn't work very well, but
I got so we've got a Bird Buddy, which is like a smart camera bird feeder that you put in your backyard, and it's super cool. It will tell you what breed of bird it is. It can even recognize individuals. So like if you pay the premium subscription, you can name individual birds. So not only is it going to tell you that's a cardinal, that cardinal is Bruce. That's
it's
Bruce.
The same one that came back before. Yeah.
That's cute.
And it would last maybe a couple of weeks if we had like a really busy thing. But I saw they had a solar panel for it, and it's just USB-C, right? And the solar panel doesn't even cover the whole roof. It only covers one side of the roof. So I didn't know what to expect from it. But I installed that thing a month ago, and I checked it yesterday, and the battery's 98%.
That's awesome.
I don't
Yep.
think I'm ever gonna have to pull that camera back
Yeah,
out.
because it's a big
That's
enough
nice.
solar panel. I think the ones for
Yeah.
Reolink were really small, and so it wasn't
The one-
generating enough juice.
Yeah, it's like solar panels maybe like 3 by 5 inches.
Oh, okay, so it was a small one. Maybe the ones
So
for Reolink.
my Nest ones are like 10 inches long and about 4 inches wide, and
Mm.
they work great. Although I've actually got under Eve outlets that I've plugged some of them into, and in fact, I just
Yeah.
put in new outlets, and I'm going to move one from solar to that. But not that the solar is not working fine. It's just that there are certain things it won't do on solar that will do on power.
Oh, I see.
And so, and I could probably hack the connector because the way it knows it's solar is because there's different pins on the connector used.
Hmm.
But I've got an outlet there,
Yeah, it's
and
always better to just plug it in.
I've got the cable and the adapter. So, yeah. Oh, look at that.
That's fancy.
That is neat.
Yeah, I don't think we have the Pro. The Pro, I think, is a better quality camera. But it's cool because you can look at other people's cameras from like if you decide to make yours
To make
public.
it public, yeah.
Yeah, you can see somebody's camera from like Brazil or from Europe or something like that, and they get really
Like
exotic
different
birds
birds,
and
right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah. And it's
So-
hilarious. It'll recognize squirrels as well.
Oh
Nice.
boy, alert, squirrel
Yeah,
incoming.
exactly.
Right. Or better yet, we have Cooper's Hawks that hang out in the neighborhood.
Yeah, you could witness some could be
Carnage.
rated R.
Yeah.
Some
But-
gore.
Yeah. But the biggest thing we wear is that when the larger raptors come in, we tell our neighbors with small dogs to make sure they're in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you get sound too. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
but that is cool. That is really neat.
Yeah. It's
Every year-
fun.
Every year I have a bird that nests in my fan in my gazebo on my deck, and I let it hang out there because there's a lot of predators, in my neighborhood. So I'm like, it feels safe there. And then we get to see the little baby birds, and we get to watch them feeding. But it's pretty high up, so it's hard to see. So I should probably put a camera on it so you can watch like the whole process. 'Cause it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm going to need to get going.
Yeah,
but
me
this
too.
Has been
Yeah.
awesome, guys. What a
Going
great
to-
and what a great cap to the week.
It's good. I'm glad we were able to do one this week. Thank you, Adrian and Lee, for joining today. Thanks for everyone who is listening and watching. And we'll see you next time.
Flew by. Thanks for all the links and the stuff I'm gonna